everyone. Welcome back to Crypto City. We're truly thankful to have each of you join us every week. Just a reminder that if any of you are in the audience watching this on YouTube or here with us who think that you might have some valuable knowledge or experience that you want to share, please reach out and we can talk about having you come on as a guest. The show is intended to give people who are interested in learning more about Web3, AI, crypto, and all things metaverse a place to come and get some basics and resources. And I know that some of you who are in the audience who are currently a little bit more in depth in your journey, but you still show up every week, and we're grateful that you continue to come back and support your community. So thank you very much for that. In a few minutes, we're going to bring out tonight's guest, and this time it's actually going to be quite entertaining. A lot of people who are working hard to monetize in the metaverse, they're having different types of businesses, and some people are lucky enough to have their business actually be their passion. So we'll explore this avenue with our guest tonight in a few minutes. But first, there are a few things happening in the news. So we talk about how fast technology is changing and growing right now and how quickly AI is taking over. As such, it's quite difficult each week to narrow down which items I choose to share with you guys. But I feel like there are so many, things each day that are happening. And I've mentioned in previous episodes that subscribing to email newsletters is a great way to get a lot of quick hits on what's currently happening and what's changing and what to look for in the future. So personally, I subscribe to 4 of these newsletters that I get daily. And they all bring a little bit of different information, but sometimes it's overwhelming to go through all the information. And it's also mind-blowing to see how much it changes from earlier in the week to right before our show. And I'm checking them daily. So if any of you are interested in the information on the newsletters that I find most helpful, please either, check in with me after the show or DM me on Instagram. Searching for information can be quite tedious because there's just so much to sort through. And these newsletters are great because they give you high-level topics that you can drill down in if there's things that you're more interested in learning about. So I try to pick topics that I think will be of interest to most of the audience, and AI is most frequently in the forefront. Speaking of how fast AI is developing, Sora AI text to video has been blowing minds since it launched about a week ago. You don't even question if it's AI generated or real because your eyes say it is real, even though it's not. It's so impressive, it's amazing, and it's scary in a crazy good way. Tyler Perry had big plans on expanding his studio in Atlanta and adding more sound stages, but now those plans he put on hold because these advances in AI have really, taken him by surprise, and he's impressed with the AI models like Sora, which, are providing these stunning videos. But he sees the business potential, but he's also worried about how AI might affect jobs in the industry. So, he's calling for regulations to protect the workers because he feels that, a lot of these actors and, a lot of up and coming people are really going to be put out of work potentially. So, he hopes that as companies are embracing AI, they'll also consider the impact on people's lives and careers. So he's urging Hollywood and Congress to, please work together to try and protect everybody. Also in entertainment news, going in the complete opposite direction, will.i.am from Black Eyed Peas is shaking things up with his latest project. It's a new radio show called will.i.am Presents the FYI Show. It debuted on Sirius XM back in January. And what's unique about this show is that, well, for starters, it features a groundbreaking co-host named QD.PI or Cutie Pie, who is, just happens to be a completely AI. It's very groundbreaking to have this happen. His vision for the show is emphasizing the dynamic contrast between his colorful, expressive personality and Cutie Pie's more factual, analytical approach. The blend, he believes, is going to be, something that's going to take everybody not necessarily by surprise, but more like really suck people in because it's different than anything you've seen before in broadcasting history. So Cutie Pie, the AI co-host, has the ability to quickly access and process during real-time conversations, information, provide valuable insights, things like that. Unlike traditional hosts that require extensive research and preparation, she can dive right into discussions, making the dynamic, an engaging listening experience for the audience. So this is really impressive, and SiriusXM is embracing it wholeheartedly. So, even the CEO, it was like, this is going to be amazing for everybody to listen to. So we're watching things change really quickly. Also in the news is Gemma, which is Google's latest creation in the world of AI. It's like a sibling to Gemini, and it's designed to be, a lightweight version, but more powerful. And Gemma comes in like 2 different sizes, and that refers to the complexity and the capabilities of the models. And they're not just sitting there, they're pre-trained and ready to go with some extra tuning options to suit your needs. So now here's the cool part. It's not just about pumping out fancy AI stuff. It's also thinking responsibly. They bundle Gemma with a toolkit to help developers use it in a safe and ethical way. Think of it as having like a built-in moral compass inside, your AI for projects. And as far as compatibility, it plays nice with other familiar frameworks for developers. And Google made sure that Gemma's platforms, they really are usable on very different hardware platforms. But the best thing out of all of it is that it's free to use for research and development. So, they're handing out iCloud credits for developers who want to use it. So all you developers out there might want to check that out if you're not already, looking at that. On the flip side, Google has just put the brakes on Gemini's image generation because its attempt to diversify its image outputs kind of backfired on them. And a lot of inaccurate stuff was coming up, and there was some diversity issues, and it was just not projecting out the images that Gemini and Google want to see out there. And there was a lot of people complaining. So they said, you know what, instead of just running with it, we're going to take this back to the drawing board, and we're going to work on improving this, so that we make sure what the people are getting is responsible. So, at the end of the day, all this stuff with AI, here's the thing. Businesses that embrace AI are going to survive and thrive. And those who don't are going to fall behind. And yes, AI can perform a ton of tasks. It can replace a lot of hours of work. It can streamline, it's cost efficient, and in some cases, it can be completely autonomous. But that doesn't mean people aren't still needed. We talk about this all the time about the ethical end of it and stuff. But, just because that the human role is evolving and it's changing really fast right now, and it's important to remember that AI isn't always correct based on what you've asked it to give you. So it's still your responsibility to double check the results before you push stuff out. And AI gets lazy. I use AI a lot, and I have to correct ChatGPT all the time when I ask it to redo something because I asked it for a different answer, and it kicked back almost the exact same thing. And I'm like, wait a second. And I actually talk to ChatGPT as if it's a person, and I'll say to it, that is not what I asked you for. I asked you to redo, and I have conversations with it, and it'll say to me, oh, I'm sorry. How about this? And it kicks back something different. And usually on the second try, it does it correctly. So, but it still requires me to sit there and monitor it and massage it to get it to exactly what I want it to do. So, don't expect a free ride. Treat it more like your assistant because ultimately you are still responsible. But it can absolutely enhance and help your business grow. And one day it might be running your business alongside you, helping you achieve your dreams while you get to go out and reap the rewards. So it's definitely, on the upswing right now. Just learn it and learn how to work with it better. So now let's bring out tonight's guest. Tonight we bring you an incredibly talented graphic novelist who's using the metaverse to enhance his hard work. So please welcome to the stage with us, Sado Morrah.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Welcome, Sado.
Thanks for inviting
Thank
me.
you for being with us tonight. Yes, definitely. Come have a seat.
There we go. Nice and comfy.
Right? Kip made these with comfort in mind. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is interesting way that you came to be with us. I met probably about a year ago from Boss Leo over in Horizon because she was doing a summit, and I actually was hosting the panel, and the panel was you and Kip VR. So that's where we met, and I learned that about you doing your graphic novels. And the way you're actually here on the show tonight was because Boss Leo held during Christmas time the White Elephant Exchange. And at the White Elephant Exchange, we had business exchanges, and you actually won this, which was great.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for Boss Leo, I wouldn't even be. I'm sure we would have come together eventually to make a show, but it's really thanks to Boss Leo that I'm here now. If you don't know who she is, she's one of the most supportive people I've ever met in this community. She's definitely someone that you want in your corner. So I'm just very thankful that I get to meet people like her.
I agree. She is wonderful, and she's really over there trying to, develop the community to get people to interact more and share their skills, their assets, all of that together. She was a guest on our show last season, and we got to kind of hear more about her efforts. But I'm grateful that she ended up connecting us. So her networking efforts are paying off.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing here. So you're a graphic novelist. I assume that artistic abilities has been in your background for quite a while.
Yeah, but, before I came into this community, the VR community, I'd actually given up on doing artwork and doing comic books. It's what I've been doing since I was a kid. But, I reached a point where I just felt like maybe this isn't me. Maybe I should be focusing on something else. But, I just had that vision in my mind of the person that I wanted to be. And that person is, doing what he loves, making stories, creating comic books, making up characters, and just trying to share that with people. So, when I fell into the VR community, I fell right back into my old self. And I experienced a new kind of community. I hadn't experienced community before, but when I came in here, I realized how crucial it is to have people around you who are just as talented as you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see up on the screen here, a little bit of your artwork, and so you have started, this metaverse persona, and you've kind of taken the VR chat worlds and incorporated some of the actual worlds here in this platform into your comic book. I mean, tell us a little bit about your the inspiration that came from that and how you decided to have that for your backdrop.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I would draw everything on a piece of paper and just hope it turned out good. I'd never dreamed that I would ever actually use 3D technology to make a comic book, but it's really perfect because it's like AI. It takes so much work off of my shoulders. All the backgrounds you see in my comic series, they're all actual virtual worlds you can actually go to that people in the community have created. And of course, I give credit to the world creators at the first page of every issue. And I just think it was a really genius idea on my part to do that because it opens up so many doors and it's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Well, your artwork is definitely most beautiful. So let's talk about the storyline itself now. How many episodes? I've been following along because I'm on your Patreon and I've been watching on your Instagram. But what is the episode? Because you just came out with one, so I feel like you're churning them out fast and furious lately.
I do. I actually make an issue every single month. At the end of the month, I release the next one, and I've been doing this since January of 2023. So naturally, I'm on issue number 15 right now. And wow. It's a lot. So I am really churning them out left and right. So and about the story. So bear with me. I don't actually get to explain the story out loud too much, but I've been practicing. So the story Sado Morrah VR, it takes place in a fictional metaverse where AI has gone mainstream. It's gotten to the point where people embed avatars with artificial intelligence. So we can no longer really tell who's an actual person, who's just an avatar embedded with AI. And we call these avatars AVAs. Now, the developers, or devs for short, who run the platform, they don't want AVAs running around in their platform. So all AVAs, no matter what they're for, they're all illegal entities. And it's up to members of the community, AVA hunters, to find these AVAs, capture them, and extract them from the system. And the story is all about me and my girl Sadin as we meet a very skilled AVA hunter, and she introduces us to the world of AVA hunting, AVAs, and scripting. Scripting is actually the power system that I use for this story that allows my characters to perform super magical feats. And yeah, that's pretty much the basis of the story.
So that is amazing, because you've pretty much taken everything that we all kind of go through every day in here. Maybe not the cynical, the sinister end of it, but AI, avatars, scripting, devs, and like all of that is the stuff that we're dealing with every single day in these platforms. And you've turned it into something that's pure entertainment, which is pretty impressive, even though I still feel like potentially the idea of AIs taking over our avatars is very real. So
yeah, it's already here. We've got AI chatbot girlfriends right now, and I've seen some avatars both in VR Chat and Horizon where they're not actual people; they're just part of the world, moving around. Maybe they say something,
NPCs.
but yeah, but yeah, we're getting there. So I really feel like my comics are eventually going to come true.
I love that. And, how exciting and a bit scary is that? It's pretty cool, though.
Oh, yeah.
And I have to say, I do love the purple hair. I'm just saying. So it's pretty cool. So speaking of AI, as we talk about this a lot, like, what are your thoughts personally on, the intersection of artificial intelligence and artistic creation, and how, yes, we agree it makes things more efficient, but the whole ethical end of it. What are your thoughts on that?
So let me start off just by admitting that I haven't touched AI yet. I haven't touched any AI tools. I don't even know how they work. So when you see my artwork, my comic books, or anything that I post online, it's always me, and always just my personal skill. But I can only imagine the stuff I do now is pretty good. I can only imagine when I actually start to use AI how much more amazing it can be. But AI is just the next evolution in art. I've mentioned this before to you, but okay. So imagine with me that you're in the 1800s and you're a famous painter. And now there's this new invention called the camera, and you're afraid it's going to take your job. Fast forward, it's the 1900s, right? Maybe late 1900s. You're a famous photographer. Now there's this new invention called Photoshop, and you're worried it's going to take your job. So AI is just the next step in that, and we shouldn't be afraid of it. We should, you made great, amazing points. I was really impressed with the information you were giving before. I hadn't heard any of it.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good on you. But yeah, we shouldn't be afraid of AI. We should learn how to use it to better ourselves and improve on what we already do.
And you're still essential in order for it to get the outcome that you want. And it's not going to come up with all of this on its own. You create it, you feed it what you want out of it. Maybe it helps you with the storyline, but your creativity, your brain, and your heart is still in this.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the great thing about my comics is it's literally like a piece of my mind. Like I pulled out a piece of my brain and smeared it on a piece of paper. It's all me, minus the virtual worlds. I didn't create those, but I do provide all the lighting and the extra stuff in Photoshop as well. So it's really just me pouring my soul into this.
So right now, all of the comic books that I have seen have been online. I've downloaded them to read through them. So hard copies, are they a thing of the past? Are hard copies still existing? How is that for you right now?
Hard copies exist. As I said before, I'm on issue number 15. I've been doing this for a year and some change. And my goal is to print out every single issue. Hopefully I can catch up to myself to the point where I can make an issue that month, send it off to the printer, and then get it out to my people. But that's going to take some time and some money. So right now I'm at the point where I only have hard copies of issues 1 and 2. They're available for purchase for $13.95 on my website, sadomorrahvr.com. And I'm still working on the website, and I have issues 1 through 8 uploaded as digital copies that you can download. Issues 1 through 8 are completely free to read for your entertainment. I just wanted to give people, a good chance to actually get into the series, and I'm going to be doing this for the next, I imagine, 2 years. So issues 1 through 8 is really not going to be a big deal for me. I just hope, people will pick it up, people enjoy it, and hopefully continue the series.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the comic books that you've been making, I mean, graphically, I mean, you see a little bit here on the screen right now, but, graphically, they're just stunning. I mean, the colors, the vibrancy, the fact that you're using kind of the same cyberpunk theme like we have here. I mean, it just sucks you in when you're looking at it on the screen. And like he said, the first 8 episodes or 8 issues, I should say, are available. And go on, take a look, read through them. They're not that long. They're comic books. The storyline's great. You get sucked into it. You want to know what's going to happen to the characters next. So, I'm really impressed with your work. Other than the comic book, are you showcasing your work anywhere else? Any other types of artwork? What are you doing? I know you do a lot over in Horizon Worlds. What are you doing there?
So I'm not doing much in Horizon Worlds, but I have opened up a Patreon where I'm going to turn all of this into an anime. Like that's my goal for 2024 is to get to that point by the end of the year. So my Patreon, it starts at $1 a month. You get to see all the content that I post. That's where I'll be posting all my animation practices, all the techniques I'm learning, and I'm going to be doing this for, very long time. So I plan to, that's my ultimate goal, is to not create comic books, but create actual shows and movies. I just saw comic books as a cheap and efficient way to do that without all the, outside work.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very impressive. So your Patreon, okay? So we talked about how you have issues 1 through 8 are available, but your Patreon, they can get more issues. So you started this Patreon. A lot of us in here have Patreons to try and get some support for the work that we're doing, but cool. You've got one of the most active Patreons I've ever seen. I mean, your Patreon, you're posting in it almost daily, and that's pretty impressive. Like, even if they're just little updates, I've seen a bunch of stuff that you've put on there where you show little clips of, hey, I came up with this little animation today, and you kind of go into some explanations on it. So, tell us a little bit about, what your goal is for the Patreon, other than obviously to sell, but like. I mean, why are you sharing so much of your insight with the audience? I mean, it is very impressive. I like it.
First, I just want to thank everybody who joined the Patreon. It's really renewed my faith in what I do. And it's really pushing me to go harder on this. Like I've already buckled myself in. I've been 15 issues, guys. I'm already in it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I know that there's people willing to, right along with me, it's doing wonders for my drive. So thank you for everyone who's joined my page. Thank you, CityGirl, for joining my Patreon. Thank you, Boss Leo, for joining my Patreon. I'm sorry if I missed somebody in the audience. But the Patreon, we all know what Patreon is. People pay to see your content. But I didn't make the Patreon to earn money, right? I just wanted to know who's really out here with me, and that was the only way for me to know is to make a Patreon. All I did was did a $1 tier, make it easy for, people. I know it's kind of hard out here in this economy. So $1 a month, that's basically what? It's less than a bag of chips in a vending machine. So it's
true.
And I try to make it, I'm going to work very hard to make it worth it to all my people who are, on this train with me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, my Patreon. So mostly I'll be posting my animations. I'm building up to an animated series. I'm going to turn the whole comic series into an animated series. That's my goal. And after I'm done with this series, I can continue to do what I love to do and move on to a totally brand new story that'll blow your minds.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. And like I said, I think you're doing a great job of staying in front of people once they're following you. You're constantly churning things out. So, and I did, I love your little animated clips because I'm not really sure if these animated clips are part of your bigger picture of the movie that you're trying to put together at some point. But I can tell you that they're humorous, like the one where the other day where they were lying on the ground and she's like, "You're the worst students ever," and I was laughing so hard because I'm like, "This is what you put out there for a clip." It was entertaining, It's really good. Now, what are you using software-wise? What are you using to create?
So fortunately enough, I'm actually using a lot of programs, but I'll talk about the main one I'm using. So the main one I'm using is called VRM Desktop Poser. It's what allows me to create the comic books. It's what allows me to manipulate the avatars and the characters and all these different poses. So yeah, it's mainly a posing software that it also has an animation feature alongside it. It's not the best, but I think I can work with it, for starters. And yeah, that's the main one I'm using. Now, I'm also going to shout out Vroid Studio. Vroid Studio allows me to create all these avatars. So these characters that you see, of which I have many now, they're all handmade from scratch by me using Vroid Studio. It's a free program. Anybody can download it. You can download it on your phone or your PC. And people make some really beautiful avatars with it. Unfortunately, though, they're not compatible enough with VR chat. That's one downside to Vroid Studios. But yeah, those are the two programs I've been using to create everything you see.
So, that's funny that you mentioned that because it's not compatible, but the word after that should be yet, because I would imagine at some point they would want to be in here.
I hope.
Yeah.
I would have thought they would have done it from the start, honestly.
Well, you actually do have an avatar. You're not wearing it today, but you do have an avatar of your main character. That was actually who created that for you in here? Was that Second Life?
Second Life, he made it compatible with VR chat, but the one who made it was me. So my main avatar is the guy in the blue jacket with the white hair and the glasses. That's me. You'll see him all over my social media. I use him as a VTuber, so there are many videos where I'm talking and moving as him. I'm just wearing him as a costume because he is my main avatar. And yeah.
So let's talk about that for a second. Do you actually, you just mentioned about being a VTuber, like a lot of your Instagram account is you sitting there with videos going as your character. So, the juggling of all these different avenues that you're going down, what do you actually love the most? I mean, obviously the creation, but, do you enjoy doing the VTube part of it as well?
When I first started it was hell. Like there are so many new programs and new technology that I had to get my hands on and learn, and it was just so hard to juggle all of that at first, but I kept at it. And I did it partly because when I started this whole VR thing, I just wanted to make a whole separate identity apart from my real self. And this avatar allowed me to do that. So yeah, that's probably the part I love most, is where I can project myself in different ways with this avatar and all the content that I've done so far.
That's awesome. I love that you found, different ways to push it out instead of, sitting there and trying to promote your comic book is great if you get people who are actually, following along for that. But now finding all these other avenues to push out is great.
Yeah, definitely.
So, let's talk about your future plans. I know you mentioned about doing the videos, but what are you planning to do in here in the metaverse?
Well, I would love to get to a point where I can actually hand you a comic book in the metaverse in virtual reality. I can literally have one right here, hand it to you. You can take it, open it up, and read it right there on the spot. If I can do that, I feel like the whole thing will just blow up. People will go insane about it. Nowadays we're not too focused on books. It's all about, reels, 15-second video clips. But I feel like the metaverse is a great place to actually bring back literature. If we can just manage that. I don't have the technical skills to make that happen though, but I imagine someone out here does. So I'm waiting on them.
Well, you hear that, everybody out there. If anybody wants to collab with you, they should reach out to you because that would be pretty amazing. I know when we were in some of the other platforms, we did have the ability to create magazines that could be handed in, or to create, books and things like that with our actual info on it, business cards, all of that. So the technology exists. We probably just need to find somebody to connect with you on that, which maybe somebody here in the audience tonight is that right person, or maybe this is someone you would find at one of those exchanges over there in Horizon with Boss Leo.
Yep, possibly. I am working alongside MetaClean Rupert. If any of you know him, he's a great guy, very supportive. He's actually helping me import some of my comic book art into Horizon Worlds. So we have a world now that I think he just made published. So you can go into that world and you can see a couple pages from issue number 11. It's random. We just did it as an experiment. So you can go into that world and you can actually read the comic book there. The first couple pages is not the whole thing. But yeah, I'm still waiting on that book thing that I can just flip open. Yeah. That
would be really cool. I would love to see maybe there would be a watch party night where you could stream your comic book up on the screen, and maybe you could narrate it for everybody while they get together and watch it.
That's interesting. I might save that for my animations. Have a little viewing party. When I finally get to the point where I decide, okay, I'm at a point now where I can actually make something serious, then I might have a viewing party for that. That might be a good idea.
No, I think that's a great idea. That would be fun. And then, let me ask you this when we're talking about the characters that are in your book. Other than yourself, are any of these characters based on people that you've met in here?
So Satan is my actual girl. The avatar represents her. But everybody else is a complete fictional character. So I just pop them out of my mind and I create them in Vroid Studio. So the avatar on my left, avatar on the left with the cat ears, her name is Viral. She's the Ava Hunter who's introducing us into the world of Ava hunting, Avas, and she's teaching us how to script because Satan and the other girl on the other side, Byla, they both want to become Ava hunters. So they're trying to emulate Viral. And I'm just kind of along for the ride, really. The series is named after me, but the story is actually about Viral and her mysterious past and who she really is in this virtual world.
I love it. That's great. So we have a surprise for everybody here tonight. You wanted to, give back to the community for their supporting of you. So for the audience members tonight, we are actually going to have 2 giveaways. Do you want to tell them about what we're giving away? And you can give them a little bit of information?
Yeah, that'd be great. So I got 2 prizes for you guys. I love to give away things. So the first prize, someone in this audience is going to win a free hard copy of issue number 1. If you happen to already have issue number 1, I can give you issue number 2 instead. And another lucky person will win a t-shirt that I just had made. It's my first real merch. I don't think we have a picture of it, but you'll see it on my social media feed. So you'll win a free t-shirt. I only have sizes small, medium, large, XL though. So hopefully that's good for you, or maybe you can give it to somebody else. Yes, those are completely free. No need to pay. And I just hope you enjoy them.
We are going to Blue is putting together one of the raffle wheels right now, and we're going to put it up on the screen in a few minutes, and we'll raffle them off here tonight. And then whoever wins, you can connect with Sado, and he will work on getting that to you. So that is like really exciting. I love that you're giving back to the community. There's a few people out here who actually have merch that have been, either selling it on their Patreon or on their websites and stuff. Sometimes they've given it away. We talked about the Diamond Exchange where, we connected. My gift was from Yo Afro. I actually, got to connect with her, and I have a hoodie from her now that I wear very proudly. Love to support people who are working here in the metaverse. It's a great thing. It's just, it's fun, and then people ask me about it, and I'm like, oh, well, she's actually a real musician, a hip hop queen, that in the real world that I met here in VR, that, where I'm spending all my time. And it's exciting to people. They're like, wow, this is actually a real musician that you're hanging out with. I'm like, sure is, come in here and check it out. These are really talented people. We have real artists. We have, real talent out here in the audience. So I love that, and I appreciate that you came on here to tell us your story tonight. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us while we're waiting to the raffles? Is there anything that you also want to bring to the table, even if it's outside of your artwork?
Maybe just a little bit of advice, and I hope this can help one of you out there. So we all kind of waste time thinking about the person we'd like to be or the person we wish we were. We sometimes fail to realize that the only version of you that really matters, the only version of you that's actually real, is the you are right now. So what you do now matters. What you say now matters. And what you think now matters. And I was able to embody that, and I told myself, you know what? I choose to be the person that I'd like to be. So yeah, I sat myself down and I came up with 15 books ongoing, and I even made it here on an interview with you. Like I never dreamed. Like I told you guys at the beginning, I'd given up. I thought maybe this isn't me, but I realized that I had the choice to decide that it was me. So hopefully, if you guys have a dream, if there's a version of you that you'd like to be, that you want to get to, realize that you can decide to be that person right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm actually, those are amazingly wise words, because number one, never give up. There are so many people in here who had an idea or a concept and ran with it, and now they're doing amazing things, and I look out here in the audience, and there's so many people in this audience right now. I mean, there isn't anybody in this audience who just, floated in for no reason. Everybody in here has either done something big here in VR or done something big with their lives, and they come in here and they share it with us, and it's so impressive. And people come in here and are inspired by other people they meet in here, or they find a need and they carry it through. But when you have a dream and you can actually make your dream come true, I mean, some people do it in conjunction with, their real full-time jobs, and some people, they're lucky enough to get that to be their job. So never give up.
Yeah.
Well, we have.
I hope I can meet all of you. Like, I hope maybe one day I can meet all of you and just find out what you guys do too.
Well, after the show, we can sit around, we can talk with everybody. Also, after the show, Marcus is going to have the block party, so we will jump over to there, and that's a great place to sit around and hang out and chat with everybody too.
Cool.
So we have the raffle wheel up, and so first we'll raffle off the comic book. So Blue, if you will spin the wheel.
That's pretty cool. Is it gonna play a song?
And it looks like Marcus is the winner of the comic book. DJ Marcus. Woohoo! Congrats, Marcus. All right. Now we are going to spin it one more time for the t-shirt. And we have Troy. That is actually really fitting because Troy is also an artist.
Oh, nice.
So
Now
maybe you
wear
guys
some of
can
my
connect on talking about his artwork, which would be pretty cool. So
Oh,
thank you
congratulations.
for giving that out to our community. I appreciate that you wanted to do that. That is so nice of you. Very generous, and it's engaging. And now people in the audience are actually going to be representing you. So I love that. Now, if people wanted to get in touch with you, we have your Instagram up there and your Patreon. Like you said, your Patreon is only $1. It's literally he's using it so he can track his followers to see, which is very generous of you as well to be able to put your Patreon out there like that. And definitely follow his Instagram because you want to see his artwork. You want to see what new episodes are coming up, and you want to follow his journey. So when he does come out here with his animated series, we'll be some of the first people to see it.
Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for being here so much. I really appreciate all of you. And thank you, CityGirl, for inviting me on the show.
Of course, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your story with us, literally sharing your story. But yes, thank you very much for coming on, and thank you to Boss Leo for connecting us because it's been great getting to know you, and I definitely want to continue following along, and I'll be waiting for episode 15, 16, 17, all the way up until you finish the series.
48, who knows? Yeah, I don't even know.
There you go. So that's great. So thank you again, and thank you to all of you for coming here tonight. Next week, we will actually have another person on that I met through Boss Leo. His name is Jeremiah Supreme. He mostly works over in Horizon Worlds, and he actually creates a digital asset where he gives you wings so you can fly around through the worlds that have this activated in it. It's pretty cool. So we're going to talk to him and hear his story and hear, a little bit about what his future plans are and some of the things that you can experience while you're over in Horizon Worlds. So thank you all for joining us tonight on your Monday night. And, after the show, remember Marcus is having block party tonight, so you can come hang out there. But definitely take a few moments to talk to Sado after the show and get to know him a little bit better. So thank you all and have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week.